Hello, hello, hello. Tell me if you can hear me or not. I am going to try to connect my Bluetooth just in case. Right on. Hello now. If you're in the room, say hello. Let me know who you are. It's good since I've done a subscriber Q&A session, so thought I would do that today. Happy Friday. Start your Friday off right. I don't know where you're at in the world, but if you are here in the Midwest, it is 9:30 in the morning. If you're out there on the East Coast, I know it's super early. Happy Friday, Omar. It's good to see you, brother. All right, so yeah, I got some questions for you. I got some answers for you. I am here to serve you guys today. Let me see if I can find my channel so I can comment if I need to do so. And if you guys haven't joined my YouTube membership yet, I do some things outside of YouTube. Like we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, we've been doing coaching calls um, where we just get on, we just hang out. Like I'll call you up on Zoom and we'll talk for about 30, 40 minutes. So I think it's really cool. And with the membership, like you do get priority. You get added to the Facebook group. You get the messages from me letting you guys know about certain things I'm about to do. And also answer your questions right away because it's hard to keep up. 5:30 here. Where you at in Omar? Where you at? What part of the world? Hey, Tisha, what's up? Oh, I haven't seen you. We need to get to, we need to wrap because it looks like you're doing some really good things over there. T Lebanon. Oh yeah. That's so cool, man. What is COVID situation looking like over there in Lebanon? Are they shutting you down? How to win back a fearful avoidant partner that you hurt? What did you do? If you don't mind disclosing. It's hard to maintain a really long-term relationship with a fearful avoidant anyway if they're not mindful and intentional about being present in a relationship because they kind of get happy feet, they get kind of giddy. They need to like, you got to keep things fresh with them or else. If you like this feed, share this, like it, share it, boost my analytics, get everybody else in here, tell the YouTube gods that it's time to get more people in here so we can have some bigger dialogues. Yeah, we're on a 3-week lockdown. It's probably going to be the same thing here. They may do the lockdown here as well. Okay, here we go. How should I deal with the guy that I'm dating who is a dismissive avoidant who keeps leaving, then coming back whenever when he gets close? He gets scared, then takes a break. Talk to him. Ask him about what's going on. What's that all about? Because a lot of that's just their way of coping. That's their coping mechanism. They pull away and they protect. They take space for themselves. Ask him what's going on with that. Is it something that you're doing that's causing him to want to pull back? Um, how long have you guys been dating? I was just talking to a client. Um, you want to be sure what that person's style is because you're going to have to maneuver a certain way. But if you get it wrong, you're going to be doing the exact wrong thing, which is why when you see these coaches telling you to go 30 days, no contact, and all the other, by the book ways of creating that FOMO in that person's mind and pushing their mind to go through the grieving process. Uh, it doesn't work the same way for everybody. So you got to be sure about what that person's style is. I told him I wasn't happy with him mid argument, which felt like criticism, and they pulled away. How long were you guys dating, Maya? Thumbs up this live. Come on, we got 5 people in here. You guys can do that for me. Also, check out I released a podcast, so I'm trying to put as much of this content on podcast format so you can listen to it when you're driving or when you know what's cool about this stuff? Your subconscious mind is always awake, all right? Your conscious mind goes to sleep from 8 hours or so, or however long you sleep. Some people go along with, Guru said he only needs about 3 hours of sleep a night, so that's interesting. And he doesn't sleep very often. But your subconscious mind is always awake, all right? So if you put something on while you're sleeping, you're still getting that information set into your subconscious. Isn't that interesting? And so much of that happened to you when you were a kid too. You didn't realize some of the things that was getting placed into your subconscious. Like that could be something like a certain smell, which is why I worked with people back when I was mentoring. There are people that had trauma triggers that they didn't even know was trauma triggers, like loud noises or something that they smelled, like a familiar scent or a familiar place, where it would make them it'll make them snap, and that PTSD comes out. But all that stuff is set in your subconscious. So I think it's cool that I could put this on podcast format, and when you listen to it, you still get that information while you're sleeping. Hey, Coach, would love your input. I would love to ask you a question. Been on off in a relationship with a DA for 6 years. We date for a couple of months, and she breaks up to the next year where I engage. So I came up with a theory here, and it might be a wrong theory, but I'm starting to see more and more of it. I think a lot of people who are love avoidance, they suffer from some form of seasonal depression, where when the winter time comes around, because of the holiday season, because some of the holiday trauma that they've experienced, something is laying dormant in them that makes them pull away, and they become depressed. So I don't know if it just has something to do with, I know a lot of people struggle from seasonal depression, but I'm starting to see more of a pattern with people who are the love avoidant types, because they will just disappear for months at a time and then come back when spring pops back around. Maybe they are stronger empaths than we realize. Because when everything dies in the wintertime, people's moods get real. The trees die, the grass dies, all of that. Here in Wisconsin, anyway. I don't know about all the other places, but here in Wisconsin, it's which is probably why we're the #1 drinking state in the U.S. No, he started expressing his feelings for me, then got scared. He's been really hurt in a lot of past relationships. We've been talking about 5 months. Okay. Yeah, and that's what I like to call, they have those emotional overdoses. So when they do something that's really vulnerable to you, you got to expect for them to pull back. And I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've seen it over and over again at this point. But you have to expect it. And the only way to stop them from doing that is to kind of make them aware. If they are interested in learning about themselves and attachment styles or whatever, just let them know that, hey, I feel like you're starting to deactivate. And you give me some type of reassurance to tell me that that's not the case. I definitely agree with that. Holiday season and cold weather definitely can make them more emotional. Yeah, it's almost like their emotions go into hibernation. Isn't that interesting? They pull back, take the space for themselves. Also, I learned that a lot of people like the avoidance, fearful avoidance, dismissive, they don't like the holidays. They don't like Christmas time. They don't like New Year's. Those are stressful for them. Those are times where they just, all that closeness they have to give, and being around people that may have traumatized them earlier on in life, they don't like it because they have this thing that's set in their subconscious that it gets activated. You're welcome, Tisha. Like I said, if you guys want to join my coaching group, that'd be pretty cool because we're really trying to build that thing up. I've got a fair amount of um, members in the membership program now, but you get priority. You get to like speed ahead of the line if you are, and then you also get one-on-one sessions with me every month. So, and it's discounted. I think that's a good deal. Um, this year we dated for 9 months, and she started withdrawing and asking for space. I didn't do a good job at that, of course. Uh, anxious attacher, man. Kept talking to her once every couple of weeks, and she said I'm so stubborn. Want her once every couple of weeks. So you were just reaching out every couple of weeks or a couple times per week. And she was very cold. This kept on since August till day 3. The 3 days ago, I told her, "Hey, I'm interested in seeing you again." When she replied to, "Honestly, I'm seeing someone." Man. So that's interesting because I did a video, I can't remember what the name of it was, that I think it's called Dismissive, or is she just not that interested in me? Because women, for example, they can look like somebody that uh, are not interested in you as a dismiss. You have to be certain if they're dismissive or not, because women who are, their attraction level for you have lowered, they can look like somebody that's a love avoidant because they'll be cold, they'll be distant, they won't be initiating communication. And if she's putting her energy into somebody else, then I think you've got your answer. And honestly, people who do things like that, people who don't take the time. Honestly, well, she broke it off with you. She did say she wanted space, so that was the right thing to do. But this person may have, like, kind of put a little bug in her ear. I would ask you though, how was the relationship? Was it a good relationship? Did you guys have good communication skills, or did your anxiousness cause her to walk out the door? Because I have another theory. I think the men who are anxious attachers, they come off as beta males to women, which means they're somebody who is a people pleaser, somebody who are always bending over backwards for the woman, always there. You know, they make themselves too available to the woman, and after a while, it just gets unattractive to women because women like that mystery. They like somebody who's going to pull back, and they want to kind of chase after you. You actually want women to want you just a little bit more than you want them, if that makes sense, because you want to look like somebody um, that's got a lot going on, that's in his purpose, that's living his purpose, that's um, not always complaining about health, not complaining about family issues, not complaining about much of anything. If anything, you want to give that fun, positive, loving vibes all the time, but you also don't want to look too dismissive. So there is like a balance there. You got to kind of walk on the right path in order to not spook them away. Because if you become too emotionally unavailable, then they'll get annoyed and they'll probably find somebody else. But if you are too available, then they're going to be like, well, um, yeah, I'm just not that into you. Now that's when, the nice guys, because women say that they want nice guys, they really don't. They want balanced guys. Women don't want nice guys. They want balanced guys. They want guys that's going to be able to say no, take space for themselves, and not give them everything that they want. Because isn't it weird? In a moment, women might say, "Yeah, I just can't wait to find that nice guy, that one guy for me." And then they get that guy, and it may be great in the beginning, but after a while, they'll be, "Yeah, I just don't know about this." They'll be talking to their friends and family, thinking about breaking up with you. And on paper, you know, you may have all of the things that they want, and the parents or the friends will be telling them he's such a nice guy. And after a while, it's like, yeah, there's a reason that nice guys finish last, because what they say they want, when they get it, if you are too nice all the time, it gets unattractive and it gives off beta male vibes. So I wrote a quote not too long ago on Instagram that says, once you give off the vibes that says, I can't live without you, that's when that person starts to think about their future without you. Think about that. So don't give off that vibe like, I can't live without you. That's why the bad boys get all the women. They have a hard time keeping them because they turn into jerks and they turn toxic in a relationship and they don't know how to meet the woman's needs. But they get them in the beginning, but they got to be able to like balance themselves out. Sure, you want to play the alpha role in the beginning, but you want to be able to steer the ship right? You got to be able to meet her needs, communicate with her, and not, it's not me or my way or the highway. That's why they like the bad boys. It'll attract them, but then they end up getting left or cheated on or something because they don't know how to keep the relationship. Which part did you give off toward the end? The alpha male or the beta male vibes? And it's like, if you think about it, the people who are the love avoidance, the dismissive guys, those are the ones that women want to get back because they give off those alpha male vibes, the bad boy vibes, the guys that's like, I can live with or without you. And then after a while, it's like, yeah, I'm not getting much of anything from this guy. Like he doesn't know how to meet me where I'm at. Like he stops doing everything. Yeah, it's just a little analogy that I came up with. I think it's kind of accurate. I gave my ex the impression that I was about to leave him because his communication skills as an FA was so hard to deal with. So I think he left me first. Yeah. That's absolutely right. What happened there is most likely he was like, well, before, because they get skittish. It's like, I'm gonna break your heart before you break my heart. Somebody's heart's getting broken, and I'm just gonna break yours first. And then it's gonna help me save my ego and my pride. So that's probably what happened. That's a good way to read that, though. I like people who are able to be mindful about what they do in a relationship, because it seems like you're somebody who turns inward, you self-reflect on the things that you did wrong in a relationship. Because people who have character defects or personality disorders, they're not able to do that. They're not able to reflect within and look at some of the things that they did wrong in a relationship. So I think that's very good. I like talking to people and helping people that are able to do that, to turn inwardly. As anxious attackers, though, we struggle because we take all of the pressure. We take all of the responsibilities. We really paint a better image of that ex than we actually had while in a relationship. We tend to forget about all the bad things really quickly just to get that person back, just to keep our mind in that keeping them on that pedestal level, if that makes sense. Beta vibes can't live without your vibe. Oh yeah. Also, Maya, do you think he was an FA or a DA? Yeah. Hey Anna, my DA broke up with me on his birthday. We were living together and he helped me pack my stuff while crying. I returned to my home city. After about 2 weeks, I wished him a happy new year. He said that he wanted space and felt suffocated. Yeah, that's it right there. They do feel suffocated. And you can, I don't know, when you live with somebody that's a dismissive or a love avoidant, you have to be intentional about the things that you do, about moving in together. You have to set like guidelines. All right, what is quality time going to look like for us? What's a no-fly zone for you? What time of the day do you need like to just do things for yourself? Because that's what happens when you move in. Your quality time, you have a totally different levels of or ideals about what quality time looks like. Like it's not all the time hanging out. Because for anxious people or for people who are secure, um, quality time looks like communication, not just sitting alone watching Netflix and not saying anything, sitting in dark, sitting on our cell phone in each other's presence. Because for them, quality time could just be right there in your presence. Which is why so many people, when they ask them, like, "Do you even care about me?" and they're like, "I'm here," or "I'm not." Like they feel like if they're with you and they're giving you their time, you should know that they're all for you. But that's not the case because a lot of people need more than just that. Need reassurance. They need words of affirmation, and unfortunately, the love avoidance, that's not something that they typically do. They don't really give a whole lot of words of affirmation. It takes practice to do that. Okay, let me answer this for you, Anna. Return to my home city in about, and honestly, they come off as really cold when you're going through those breakup moments, and you may be crying, you may be sitting there, and they're just like, I don't. They legit don't know how to support you during that time. Like if you're getting emotional and you're breaking down, like it just kind of freezes them up, and they're like, this is uncomfortable. It's just they don't know how to console you during those times. Yeah, this is so true. I always focus on the potential too. So I also did a video about 5 men you shouldn't date. I mean, it can go for both ways, women too, that you shouldn't date. You So many people fall in love with the potential. They fall in love with that person in the beginning. I like to call it the trial relationship, the trial membership of the relationship. They fall in love with that, and then after that's done, and they start to see, once they subscribe to the membership, and they start to make a commitment to that person, uh, that's when all of those perks that they got during the trial membership goes away, and you get so stuck on all the benefits and the perks you were getting in the beginning, that you can't see reality for what it is. Aaron Rant, some lady, I forgot her name, something like this. Kind of hard to say. She had a quote that says, "You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality." I'll say that again. You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of your reality. And what a lot of people reality is in that very moment of their relationship is that they're not happy anymore. That person that they met in the beginning isn't there anymore, and they've checked out a long time ago. And that's the one thing about Omar. This thing about women, they can check out of relationships well before you even know it. They can check out months. I mean, married women can check out years before they even make their exit strategy. They may not be in love with them anymore. Sorry, let me quit ranting. He said he wanted space and felt suffocated. Yes, I realized that we needed to set boundaries on our quality time. I'm working on becoming secure. Yesterday, he wrote me after no contact for 22 days. Well, that's cool. I'm FA leaning anxious. Wow. Um, so it must be really hard for you to trust people in the beginning. That's the thing about anxious attachers. We don't trust easily. We get jealous. We get possessive because that fear of abandonment wound is very deep in us. Our worst case scenario is always, we don't get a text message back. Oh my God, they're with somebody else. Oh, they're leaving me. I'm never going to hear from them again. And those are all just thinking errors. It's just not, they're not true. Those are stories that you're telling yourself that aren't true. And you have to be able to pause in that moment and bring yourself to this moment and realize that that's not true. What has happened in the past? Think about, like, if they haven't texted you back in about 4 hours, then just realize that they might be busy. Think about what happened in the past when they didn't text you for 4 hours. They eventually ended up texting you. So I don't know how I even got on that. I don't know about transferring. Yeah, to be honest, coach, I noticed a lot of people find out about attachment theories because of a breakup, including me. Yes, I'm writing a book, and this is what it's going to be about. Um, I don't want to tell you too much, but um, there's meaning in everything. You know, so many people. I mean, I've worked with people that are in their 60s that didn't hear about it, haven't heard about attachment styles, haven't heard about how attraction works, haven't heard about the basic things like love languages and men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You know, they learned it through experience, but they didn't know the terms or if there was an actual science behind it. So, because so many people they get things passed down from uh, their ancestors or their grandparents, so much information, and what's happened is they continue to have these wrong information programmed into you. Like the whole thing that, the saying, happy wife, happy life. You need to define what exactly a happy wife is. A happy wife doesn't mean somebody who you say yes to all the time and you give into everything. Because then that's going to be like, you're putting out those beta male vibes again. So you got to be uh, mindful about some of the things that you were told as a kid and some of the things you observed that you think is healthy and functional. And after a while, it's not healthy and functional. There are a lot of dismissive avoidant men that were created because their dad were like that. Their dad was kind of unavailable. He'd go sit in the man cave and drink beer and watch football and don't really communicate and isn't really engaged with the kids. There are a lot of men that are like that because they saw that and they got it passed down to them. Mhm. I wish I knew about attachment theory before my breakup. I would have been way more empathetic with him. Man, Maya, you learned this exactly when you needed to learn it. There's a saying that goes, "When a student is ready, a teacher will appear. When the student is ready, a teacher will appear." You could have came across my videos a long time ago and still wouldn't be like, I don't need to know about attachment theories. I don't need to know about any of that. Your mind has to be opened up to it. Your mind has to be ready to receive the information. And unfortunately, um, it happens very often where people aren't able to hear the message that is being told to them. Like if you go to church and the preacher or pastor may have had a certain message that day and you just kind of zone out, like I'm kind of passively hearing this, but then you won't need that information until about 2 years from then, and then you start to think about, man, I heard that concept somewhere. I wonder where. Oh, I heard it at church that day. So you may not have a mind that's open to it. Now it is. There is no mistakes or accidents in life. Everything happens in divine timing. Happens exactly when it needed to happen. Whether it's uh, 10 years past your divorce or in the middle of your divorce, it happens exactly when it was supposed to. You have to be able to see that though. You have to be able to see the positive, spin the positives. So I had a call coming through. Coach, to be honest, I was giving up alpha vibes towards the first. Then I read Five Love Languages, which was amazing. Yeah, Five Love was amazing. But I started implementing too much of which is started, yeah. And that's that balance thing. Anything when you start to fall out of balance in any area of life, that's when all the other things start to fall apart. You know, you can't be too regimented about your diet because after a while you just snap, which is why they put in those cheat days in there, designated cheat days, because they know that it's important to have balance. I did not do balance. I was all about trying to understand her and let her understand me. So she was like, nope, not having it. Yeah, so here's the thing. Those are feminine vibes, all right? Trying to constantly communicate about your feelings and your emotions. And I know you're doing it simply because you want to like pull her back. That's that anxious, dismissive, anxious avoidant dance that happens. Once you start to feel her pulling away, you're like, oh, I need to do more. I need to bring her closer to me. But it's kind of counterintuitive. The more that you, in those instances, the more that you pull back and you become more mysterious and you don't um, talk too much about your feelings and emotions and where you want the future to go. That's when they'll start to bring it back towards you. It's it's like you got to turn on your bad boyness or your mysteriousness in order to get them back. That's how attraction works. Coach, do you think that I should continue texting with my DAX or continue with no contact? It's been 2 weeks, right? By the way, I'm glad that I found your channel. I have learned a lot about myself and things make more sense now. Awesome. I'm glad I can help you out. You know, the main reason I started to do this is because I wanted it. I needed this during my time of need, but I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody to reach out. Coaches were way too expensive. And I just couldn't do it. Um, so I would binge watch a bunch of things and learn as much as I could about myself and about that's where spirituality came into to play too. Like I started meditating more and studying people who are positive thinkers, um, people like Earl Nightingale and Norman Vincent Peale and Napoleon Hill. Like I started to really binge all this stuff. Les Brown, like all those people I started to just study, and that's when I got into like Dr. Wayne Dyer and Sadhguru and Thich Nhat Hanh, and all those people showed me about. They taught me about just learning how to be still and realizing that there is nothing that you can force. Anything that you try to force into life, it'll end up falling apart. You kind of got to live like water. You know, water just flows. You think about, if you try to take water and you try to squeeze it, it'll seep out the crack of your hands, out your fingers. If you try to freeze it, eventually it'll go back to its natural state of being water again. If you evaporate it, it's going to go up, come back down as water again. So it's always going to, anything you try to force into submission, you know, even relationships, jobs, you just got to like, that's why I named this company Fruitful Seeds. You just have to plant those seeds. I'm not trying to force you guys to do anything or to force you guys to believe the way think the way I think. I just plant seeds. I may never see the tree grow in your life. I may never see that healthy relationship start to develop. I may never see you go out for that job and get rid of all your fears and your limiting beliefs. I will never see that. May never see that. Only time I see it is when people reach out to me and they give me their success stories or whatever. But other than that, I never see it. I just plant the seeds. You know, that's why when I put all these videos out here, I'm just planting seeds. And if somebody wants to come along and like plant that seed into their life, then so be it. But I try not to force anything. All right, guys, we're coming up on 33 minutes, and I'm going to take off. I appreciate y'all. Hope this was a good, successful session for you guys. I hope you found some value out of this. Feel free to like, share the content. I'd love to have more of you guys in my membership. That's up to you if you want to. And honestly, the Facebook group is just $1.99 a month. So, and I'll let you guys know when I'm going live and all that good stuff. And the $10 a month is when you get to participate in my private Zoom session. So, love you guys. All the way over there in Lebanon. Good to see you guys again, and y'all take care. Have a good weekend.